It's an American tradition dating back more than 230 years. The swearing in of new U.S. citizens. The ceremony took place yesterday at George Washington's Virginia estate, Mount Vernon.
Congratulations.
We went to Mount Vernon because, with the nation marking its 250th birthday, it's hard not to wonder, what would George Washington think about today's United States? Robert Costa went looking for answers.
George Washington's Mount Vernon, perched high above the Potomac River in Virginia, just south of Washington, D.C., is more than just the home of our first president. It's a place of pilgrimage for millions around the world, the most visited historic house in America. We came here to get a sense from visitors where we are as a country.
Welcome to Mount Vernon.
Do you feel it's important to come here as we mark 250, to be a citizen, to remember history?
I'm a firm believer that if we don't know our history, we're liable to repeat it. So if we do not remember the great sacrifices that our founding fathers made and their core beliefs, what they stood for, that's how our country falls apart.
But being an American is so important to me because it gives me the confidence and courage to know that I can do what I want when I grow up, because a lot of others don't have that opportunity that I do have.
What does it mean for you to be a good citizen?
That's a good question. I think just being there for people, whatever it looks like. If somebody needs a helping hand, I think just in the smallest ways or in the biggest ways, just being a leader and standing firm on what you think.
Besides offering tours of the estate, Mount Vernon boasts a new education center filled with historic documents and artifacts, including, of course, George Washington's dentures. Just to set the record straight, they were not made of wood, but rather animal and human teeth. At the time, teeth were commonly purchased and extracted from enslaved people.
This is a critical place for people to understand what America is and where it comes from. It is the home of the father of our country. George Washington's the critical figure that wins our war for independence, but he didn't write his own autobiography. Mount Vernon is the place that's his autobiography. Authentic objects are a big part of bringing this to life for the visitors.
Doug Bradburn is Mount Vernon's president and CEO. An author and historian, Bradburn has a unique take on Washington's relevance today.
He would recognize the world, the political world we live in, as a highly polarized one. He had that in his own cabinet. But he would also be frustrated that we hadn't been able to rise above the petty squabbles of his own time, in the sense that you have these brilliant people who all believe they're patriots, believing the other side are the enemies of the country, and he would very much try to dissuade us from turning each other into enemy aliens. So he would be enthralled, he would be frustrated, and he would be just like all of us are, hoping that we could do better.
Things weren't perfect here. President Washington was in many ways the consummate leader, but there were also slaves here at Mount Vernon. Not everyone was free at the founding of the country.
Right.
There's still lessons to be learned from General Washington, or not?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just about just being a better human and just putting ourselves in other people's shoes and just thinking, is that something we would want to do, or would we want to be treated that way or live in those type of conditions?
You have to wonder, what would President Washington make of all of what's happening in America today?
I think you would love to see just the mix of people you have here, people from all over the world that have come and joined our great country. I think we should expect that in a country that pulls people in from everywhere that are going to have differing viewpoints. I think that would be something that, as hard as it is for us to deal with on the day-to-day, or it's tough for us to see, that's the beauty of what we have as well, is that we have these differing viewpoints that come together to create something great.
When did you come to the United States?
I came here in 1980. When I came here at that time, I don't think America was ready for Philippines because no one really knew about Philippines.
In the Filipino-American community, do people talk about George Washington and what he means to the country?
Oh, yes. You know why? It's because that's one of the questions on how to become a U.S. citizen. Who was the first president?
And you passed it with flying colors.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course. What would George Washington have made of everything that's going on today?
I don't know. I think he'd have a lot to say. I hope that he would have some guiding words of wisdom. But you know, we've kept the American experiment going for 250 years, so hopefully
That's
he'd be a bit proud too.
Whether you have your problems or not, we're here.
Exactly.